Hi, a very good evening. Yeah, how is the view? Is it disturbing because we have a lot of sunlight today? So is it fine or do you want me to change the view? And also do let me know if it is streaming fine and regarding the voice issues. If you have any issues with the audio, do let me know accordingly. I'll try to adjust my voice, right? Okay, beautiful view. So we'll stick on to this view, right? Because I was not sure of the background. If you have a very bright light, it's often very disturbing to our eyesight, isn't it? So I just asked you that question. So anyways, we will start our session. No, it's not me that's shining. It's this place. The beauty of this place is it's always shining. And today we're lucky. Till yesterday it was all rainy, and day before yesterday it was all snowy. But today we're lucky that we have clear skies, blue sky with snow-capped mountains, and we are about to have sunset. Maybe in another 1.5 hour time, maybe we'll have a sunset. Yeah. So you can only see my silhouette, right? Because we have a bright light in the background. So, anyways, enjoying this beautiful landscape, let's have a discussion from osteology. So, I've created some questions based on certain key points. So, we'll discuss these questions and then we will enjoy the view once again. I'll just pan my cam 360 degrees so that you can have a look, and then we'll conclude our session, right? So, in the process of discussing, I'll definitely raise my voice even further. Yeah, also see to that you stream the video in high quality possible. Only then you can appreciate the background, the beauty of the landscape which I am trying to present. So we'll start with our first question. I've posted the questions in our Google and WhatsApp group. I hope you have gone through them, and we'll start with the first question. So the first one, components of sphenoid bone include. Components are parts of sphenoid bone: body, greater wing, lesser wing, pterygoid plates, both A and B. So which option would you choose? Components of sphenoid bone. Yes, you have any questions pertaining to any other queries or any other topics, you can drop them at proudtobedentist@gmail.com. We'll just stick on to our academic discussion, osteology topics discussion for this video, right? Yeah, all wonderful. So as you know, we have body of sphenoid, greater wing, lesser wing, and pterygoid plates. So we have medial and lateral pterygoid plates. And also, as you know, lateral pterygoid plate, we have two muscles which are attached, medial and lateral pterygoid muscle. Whereas medial pterygoid plate ends in hamulus, and we have a muscle which winds up around the hamulus. Can you name the muscle which attaches or winds up around the hamulus? Yes, all of the above is right answer. So we have body, greater wing, lesser wing, pterygoid plates, medial as well as the lateral pterygoid plates providing muscular attachments. Okay, try answering the question which winds up around the hamulus, right? We'll proceed with our next question. So all of the above is right answer. Second question, orbit. Orbit of eye. Orbit comprises 5 bones, 6 bones, 7 bones, 8 bones. So before we proceed to that orbit question, I want you to just have a look at the sphenoid bone. I hope you can see. I don't think so. I'll try to increase the brightness. It's Max Bright. I'm not sure if you can appreciate the image. No, because of greater brightness in the background, I don't think you can appreciate the image. We'll do one thing. Once we conclude this session, I'll post all these images in our updates group, right? I think that will be more convenient. Yeah. Orbit comprises how many bones? 5, 6, 7, or 8 bones? Very good. It's 7 bones. Can any one of you name those 7 bones? Yes, of course. So we have 7 bones, as you all rightly mentioned. Frontal bone, maxilla, zygomatic, palatine, lacrimal, sphenoid, ethmoid. Yes. So total 7 bones. Frontal bone, maxillary bone, zygomatic bone, sphenoid bone, ethmoid bone, lacrimal bone, palatine bone. Just observe the image. I have an image, but unfortunately I'm unable to project it now. So I'll post them in our updates group, right? You can just have a look once we conclude this session. So it's 7 bones. Okay, wonderful. Option C. Now let's move on to the next one. Question pertaining to greater wing of sphenoid bone. Greater wing of sphenoid contains option A, foramen rotundum, option B, foramen ovale, option C, spinosum, option D, none of the above. The greater wing of sphenoid contains which are the following foramina? Okay, well tried. It's all of the above. So foramen rotundum, foramen ovale, foramen spinosum, middle cranial fossa. We have an image, I'll post the image, don't worry. So all of the above is right answer. Greater wing of sphenoid does contain all this foramina. Okay, the penultimate one pertaining to the presence of temporalis muscle with respect to zygomatic arch. Zygomatic arch, okay, the question is temporalis muscle passes superficial to zygomatic arch, deep to zygomatic arch. Which option would you choose? Relation between zygomatic arch and temporalis muscle. So is it superficial relation or deep relation? So if you observe the image, the muscles, the muscular fibers of temporalis pass deep to zygomatic arch. And as you know, zygomatic arch is something which is formed because of the temporal extension of zygomatic process or the temporal process of zygomatic bone and zygomatic process of temporal bone. So we have these both extensions coming and meeting and forming zygomatic arch. And also remember, zygomatic arch is an important bone in terms of various muscle attachments. So which muscle attaches or originates from zygomatic arch? So as we discussed, temporalis passes deep to zygomatic arch. Can you name a muscle which originates from zygoma as well as zygomatic arch? Wonderful. It is masseter, yes. So temporalis muscle passes deep to zygomatic arch. More appropriate. Okay, final question pertaining to the articulations of zygomatic bone. Zygomatic bone has the following articulations. Identify the false match. Maxilla, anteriorly, temporal bone superiorly, frontal bone posteriorly, option D, none. So among the given options, identify a mismatch. Zygomatic bone has the following articulations. So identify the false match from these given options. Maxilla anterior, temporal bone superior, frontal bone posterior, option D, none. So few of you are saying none, few of you are saying B, few of you are saying C. Well done, you have covered all the options except for option A. It's both B and C. You're right. So both B and C are false matches because as given maxilla is present anterior, this is your zygomatic prominence or zygomatic bone, the cheek prominence. You have maxilla anteriorly, you have frontal bone superiorly and temporal bone posteriorly. I'll share the images. It will be much more convenient for you to remember and to identify these relations, right? So zygomatic bone, we have frontal bone superiorly, temporal bone posteriorly, maxilla anteriorly, right? So both B and C are false matches, right? Okay, so we'll conclude our session, a very small session than expected. I have stood in this position intentionally so that you can have my silhouette with prominent backdrop. I'm very much aware that I'm not clearly visible because of a very bright background. It's intentional so that you could enjoy the view. I hope you got it. Yes, my intention is not to be showing myself, rather the background. Yes, Suresh, you're right. Tensor villi palatini is a muscle which winds around hamulus. So as we discussed, sphenoid bone has medial and lateral pterygoid plate. We often get confused, but be clear. Both medial pterygoid muscle and lateral pterygoid muscle attach to lateral pterygoid plate. Medial pterygoid plate ends in hamulus around which, as Suresh rightly mentioned, tensor villi palatini winds around, right? Yeah, it's very peaceful, but at the same time you have some external noises like cutting of wood, and you have some ringing bells if you observe, maybe Christmas time, some maybe from some church, and along with that you have these helicopters and sightseeing planes. So there will be some amount of disturbance. It's not as peace and as tranquil as inert kitchen was, but this is relatively fine. But yes, you do have some disturbance. So right now we are having three noises: cutting of wood on that side, ringing of bells on this side, and a flight has just passed by from this side. Okay, so before I conclude this session, I'll just pan my cam, just have a look at the landscape 360 degrees, and then we'll conclude our session. Right, I hope you found this session informative. Make sure you enter all the relevant key points which we discussed in this session in your customized notes, and just revise once again before you give your final exam. So all you need to do is just give your best each and every moment, no matter what you're doing: attending live session, writing notes, participating in discussions, discussing with a friend. It's all about giving our best each and every moment, right? I hope you've enjoyed the view, and I hope you found this session informative. So see you again in another live session. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So wish you all the best. Love you all. Take care. Bye. So I'll just pan my cam so that you can just have a view of all the mountains around us. Yeah, you're welcome. So this is where you'll see sunrise, and the path of sun will be like this. It will not be reaching the top because we are almost near the North Pole. So the sun's path will be like this, and sunset will be in this direction. So it's a very oblique kind of path, very short path comparatively, compared to where we stay or compared to what we see in our country. So you can see snow-capped mountains over there, sunset, and this is a small place, right? You can see many houses over here. So this is more or less like a residential area. And you have snow even here. I mean, the view is being hindered by these trees. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your lovely and wonderful wishes. And again, you have comparatively clear sky today, because still yesterday it was all cloudy. We couldn't even have a glimpse of a blue sky with white background. I mean, the snow-capped mountains. But today it's all relatively clear. Yeah, there you go. Yes, it's very nice. It's awesome. Anyways, we have many recorded videos with this backdrop. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, right? So wish you all the best. Love you all. You just look at the nature, it inspires you. Look at the bright sun. It always reminds you the fact that you have to be shining no matter what the situation or circumstances. And look at the mountains. You should always aim for the summit with your feet on ground. So there are some powerful messages which you can derive and take an inspiration, especially from Mother Nature, isn't it? So wish you all the best. Love you all. Bye. Take care.